So, hey, welcome to watching a new video. And today we're going to take a look at this beauty behind me. It's built on an IVECO daily. It's the longest and the highest, meaning L4H3. It's a 3-liter automatic, 180 horsepower. Before we get started, Josh, this vehicle is custom built for a motocross racer. I built it about a year and a half ago or something like that. So it's already seen a year or a season. It's already been through a season of intense operation in motocross races. And it's actually built in a similar style to the car you saw, the one I built for myself. There are some minor changes, so we'll take a look at them today. So, starting from the outside, a Thule awning was installed on the car, which is actually side-mounted, because with these raised models, it can be beautifully placed on the side. Additionally, there's a lighting strip installed here, which simultaneously functions as a drip edge. A Dometic for side window with a roller blind and a mosquito screen that can be tilted open upwards. It's in these sliding doors. This one, up above the sleeping area, is also an E4 window. I believe its dimensions are around 70 by 30. Yes, 70 by 30. Then over here, we have a little door for charging. And this side window, its dimensions are about 90 by 50. So it's quite a big one. On this side and on the other side as well, a side window is installed 70 by 50. It's the same size as the one beside it. Again, it opens upwards a service hatch for the toilet cassette, which you'll see inside. It's the Thetford one. Service shower and filling neck for the tank, which is located under the car. There's about 80 liters of fresh and 60 liters of wastewater. It has these LED lights. Both low and high beam headlights, it's in LEDs, it's completely in LEDs, so it shines very nicely. I have them on my IVECO too, and I must say the car lights up absolutely perfectly. All right, let's head inside right by the entrance. So we immediately notice a small door where a small gas canister for the stove is concealed. Then we have a quick shoe rack, a little bin, so everything's within reach. A small step at the entrance there, and an extension of the kitchen counter, which has a milled support shaped a bit like the letter Y. That's how it should be. Now, the front seats are on swivels. I won't turn them now, but the front seats are on swivels. A fold-out table, and underneath it is a tabletop that can be flipped out like this right to the middle. In-top seats, these are two-seaters with adjustable reclining backs. The seat can be extended into the aisle by 10 centimeters. So when driving, if two larger individuals are seated, they can extend it and won't get in each other's way. An upper storage cabinet equipped with a shelf for placing your smaller personal items. What's particularly well designed is this folding bed, which I actually install in all these raised IVECO trucks. So right here you'll find a truly full-size sleeping bed measuring a generous 2 meters in length by 1 meter in width, and it's supported by a high-quality slatted bed base, making it exceptionally comfortable. As for the kitchenette, there's a gas stove, a sink, and 2 practical drawers. Regarding this central section, here we have an 85-liter Vitrifrigo refrigerator. Below it we have a small drawer, and above it we also have a storage cabinet. This is then finished at a height of about 135 centimeters from the floor. And this connects to the rear bed, which is elevated because it's positioned above the garage, where you can easily store 2 to 3 motorcycles. So it's raised like this, and you actually climb onto it with the help of a small storage compartment located down here. You step onto it, or you can simply flip out this storage compartment from under the bed and then swing yourself up. Alternatively, you could simply jump directly upwards from the very bottom, and that's all there is to it. Right there, but above the sliding doors, we could make a small shelf There we have some car infotainment and heating controls. We also have the panel for the Nord electronics, which manages switching various circuits, monitoring water, batteries, and similar things. And right here we were also able to fit in a small shelf where some items can be neatly stored away. And then again, the upper cabinet, which has a single light fixture already installed. And here above the sleeping area, there are shelves on both the left and right. They're like cubbies, as you often see in my builds, with no doors, just these open compartments. And you can just toss anything inside. And that's how it is here. So regarding the bathroom, there's an integrated built-in toilet. There's a shower tray and sliding doors are here, so you can completely separate this entire room. And right here, we have a collapsible sink with a mirror. And right here, we have a fold-out, pull-out faucet, which actually serves for showering. But at the same time, it also functions as a sink faucet. When you need to use the toilet, so the sink doesn't get in your way, you just flip it up like this and it's neatly stowed away. This is the very same one that I have in my IVECO. We also have actually a small ventilation window right above the toilet, and this is what our bathroom looks like. We'll still talk a little bit about the interior. Those of you who saw the previous video where we had that built, my very first one about 15 years ago, I also had a cabinet here built all the way to the ceiling. Nowadays, I usually build it only to this height. It feels more airy. I used to build it completely enclosed, and you had to crawl into the bed through a kind of alley, and it felt more cramped. That means if you then wanted to get out of bed, say, in the evening and step into this aisle, it felt quite a bit more cramped. So I think that this space is now a little bit better this way than how we had it previously. Or personally, I just like it more. As for the furniture, we're now using these aluminum profiles here, which I actually hadn't used on the old IVECO. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't make them. And actually, regarding the CNC machine, since we've progressed with it, all these radii or all these edges are now rounded like this. And it's not just the corners that are rounded, but the entire thing is made as if into, into a semicircle. And everything is made with a smoother radius, rounded and edgeless. Here you can see on the shelf that I've made this aluminum strip. And with these aluminum strips, it looks nicer. When you walk, you won't hit anything as there are no sharp corners. I've used this aluminum profile in my kitchen too. So if you look, I'm already using this panel, which I didn't use before, but now I have this multifunctional panel on which we can monitor water levels, battery levels. We can turn on various circuits, the pump. Next to it, I have a planar heater. As for heating, we have a total of 3 vents here. We have one outlet here, this one under the structure. The second outlet is located here beneath the fridge. And the third outlet is by the entrance downstairs. And the fourth outlet we still have in the back of the garage. We'll go and take another look there, but since we're heating this place with a 4 kilowatt heater from Planar, it's actually a diesel heating unit. And when we're heating, we also heat our hot water right here through a boiler. If the main heating isn't on, we heat the boiler ourselves, or the boiler is a combined type, meaning it has a 12 volt, 200 watt heating element. So in summer, we can still heat up that boiler. That's regarding the element. So if we're heating, we have hot water automatically. When we're not using the heating, we simply turn on the boiler by itself and heat it using electricity. As for the electrical system, we have a 4.2 200 ampere battery here from the Ultimatron brand. It has an output of about 200 amps and an input of, I believe, 150 amps. This means that if we ever needed to charge it, we could charge it from 3 different directions. Naturally, as is common in a motorhome, either from the exterior with a 230 volt connection, we have a 20 amp battery charger there, or when we start the vehicle's engine, there's a 30 amp boost charger from Victron. And then we also have the option to charge from solar. We have a 175 watt peak panel from Victron installed here. This is the glass one, and it will provide us with roughly about 7 amps per hour, but that of course depends on whether it's shining or not. If you needed to charge the car quickly, you can charge from all 3 directions at once. It's actually all the same, they won't conflict, and your amps, your currents will simply multiply, so the battery charges faster. This means if you connect it to the grid, or if you start it up and the solar also charges it, and you can reach up to 55 amps and the battery is able to absorb that. The car, by the way, is designed to be completely independent, self-sufficient. If the sun is shining and solar power is enough to keep things running, the consumption here is such that you can easily last 14 days with it quite comfortably. If you also travel and move around constantly recharging it from the alternator, then again, there's absolutely no problem. So the car will be perfectly fine. Yes, it depends on the situation. If it's cloudy for a week and the sun gives you nothing and you don't even drive, then the battery will last 3 or 4 days. But if you're moving or if it's nice and the sun is shining, it's enough to easily charge it, and you can operate the car completely independently. You don't actually need anything else for that. As for other windows, we already mentioned the side ones from the outside, but we also have roof windows here. Over there, we've installed a roof window from Carbest, and that one actually comes with a fan. And then we have another roof window positioned right here, directly above the bed. And we also have yet another one specifically located in the bathroom itself. So in total, we have 3 roof windows. We have 3 side windows, and I believe the ventilation here is ensured. Now that you've told us everything, how does it look here? I'll show you this way. And we'll go take another look, a look inside the garage. The garage is fitted with slatted frames. It's self-supporting, so these cannot be lifted. It's also fixed here, but the height between the floor and the grates is 135 centimeters. The motorcycle can easily be pushed in here. It's pushed in backwards because since the seat is lowered, we were able to make a combined shelf like this, which is milled from underneath and is therefore very, very light. It's a light material and it's also lightweight. So you can put chairs and a small table in there. Here, for example, I carry the front cover for the windshield, and right here in the middle, you still have space for some other things. Then up here, you'll have a shelf remaining, going all the way to the ceiling, where I keep my helmets, glasses, and various other items. Over here on the mezzanine, you can see a paper holder. There's a crank for the awning, broom for sweeping, just this kind of system. And over there in that cabinet, where a cabinet is actually built above the wheel, a pump is hidden there. There's a pressure pump with a Spanish connection that's over there on that side. And here behind in that cabinet, again, it's made like above the wheel arch. That's where all the electronics are essentially stored. That means the battery, chargers, and all the surrounding components. Here you can also see a 2000 watt inverter, which powers compressors or whatever else is needed. The battery handles it easily, as 2000 watts draws about 165 amps from it, and the battery allows us around 200 amps, so it's perfectly fine. On the walls and floor, there are anchoring rails everywhere. So you can simply anchor them wherever you need. The garage is visibly worn, or rather well used. It's simply driven in here. It's not really an issue because a motorcycle is constantly being moved. Those of you who ride know it's a problem. Also, over there we have one more vent actually leading into the garage for the heating system. And that's practically everything from the garage itself. This was just a quick overview of this IVECO, which I worked on about a year and a half ago. And I believe this is essentially the current state of what I'm doing now. Of course, it's always up to your wishes, your requirements, what you'll do. But I think this is a pretty well-utilized space in terms of having absolutely everything. 3 people can sleep here completely comfortably. The fourth, actually, I forgot to mention, the fourth person sleeps by lowering this table to its bottom position, turning the seats. Then a board is placed across this seat, the table and the seats in front, and the mattress is laid over it. And if a fourth person is needed, we'll actually sleep on this lower bunk. This means that there are actually 2 beds in the rear right above the garage. They are, 2 meters in length and 160 centimeters in width. So a full-sized double bed, a nice upper bed, 2 meters by 1 meter, also very luxurious. And downstairs it's about 185 by, I think, 90. The lower bed, we're limited there by the length up to the steering wheel, but it's also a fourth bed and quite comfortable, you could say. It's also certified for 4 people, so you can take 4 people. 4 people will sleep here. With 4 people, honestly, the car's not really comfortable. You'll be a bit cramped, but you'll manage to sleep. You get there, sleep, then just go out and stay outside all day. More or less, you're not in the car then. 1 or 2 will stay there, or you just go there to cook something. But more or less, then you sit dealing with everything in front of the car. So it's not like those big integrated cars where there's more space inside. Here there's less space, but that really depends on how you're used to making do and how you simply make yourselves comfortable. All right, that's all for today's tour. Next time we'll go over to that little Ford. That one's completely finished. I'm gonna to re-register it tomorrow, and next week we'll make a video about this Ford where we'll know its complete weight, how much we've managed to get it to again. Otherwise, we got the weight here to 3,050, so this IVECO has a payload capacity of about 450 kilos. Unfortunately, I can't magically get more out of it. This IVECO is quite heavy. It weighs about 2.6 tons when it gets here empty, considering it's a really big car and has a large engine. That 3-liter one, it has a drive shaft to the rear. So as I'm saying, it weighs about 2,600, 20 when it comes here empty. When I load 450 kilos into it, I really have to try hard and lighten everything. As you saw, for example, in the back, that shelf under the bed. But I must construct everything from extremely lightweight materials, and sometimes that comes at the expense of the fact that something might just slightly bend or even twist, because these materials, being so incredibly light, are simply not as inherently stable as heavier ones. But even that plywood is, you could say, quite all right, but I just don't have anywhere left to take from. And if you want to have an awning, a fridge, a toilet, a seat, additional heating, a boiler, it's too many things that one has to bring in, and you just don't have anywhere to get that weight from, The board itself weighs about 16 kilos for the furniture's construction, so there are already 7 boards processed inside, not whole, of course. There are still some cut-offs. Let's say if we put 610 times 16, that's in the furniture, some hinges, such things. Simply all in all, 450 kilos. I can't get any lower, with all these components, with all these things, even though I think 400 kilos is good. If the car's load capacity wasn't 450 kilos, but 800 kilos, it would be a different story. Not that the car couldn't handle it. This car handles it easily. You wouldn't even notice if you put 4 tons total in it. But unfortunately, the legislation is unforgiving, and you should be under 3.5 tons completely with everything. All right, then, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and please give me a like. Thank you for that, and I'll see you next time in another video.